and into enemy territory and expect things to go well for you. Therefore, strategy, we would invite any of them to come to our turf, to come to our world, charge up the hill if you want to face the demon assassin. We are royalty after all. We should be standing on top.
What's up, Bengal fans? It's your host, Joey Karni, and I want to thank you for clicking on this video. It was an amazing experience, and I can't wait for you to watch the full episode and enjoy it just as much as I did filming it. Now, if you haven't already, please like and subscribe down below to stay up to date with all the Angles activity right here on YouTube. Now enjoy the show. Ladies and gentlemen, my guest at this time is an iconic figure in the Knockouts division. She's a former Knockouts champion, and after this weekend, we can change that former to possibly and new. Please welcome the Demon Assassin, RoseMary. How are you?
We do like the sound of that. You started this up, right?
I'm so excited to have you here, and this is really a big week for you, being that you are the #1 contender for Deonna Purrazzo's Knockouts Championship. A championship that you've held before. And this opportunity happens at Against All Odds. Now, how does it feel to be back in the main event of the Knockouts division?
It did sort of land in our lap unexpectedly, we will admit. We were putting so much more energy towards trying to convince Havoc to stop fooling around with these humans. And before that, we spent so much time tagging with the Valkyrie, going after the newly reformed tag team titles that admittedly, we almost forgot that an option was to go after the Knockouts World Championship, one that we have held before, but not since 2017. So it's been some time. Perhaps it's another prize add to our collection is due.
And I guess you could say the biggest thing here we can talk about with this match is that there may be someone else added to this match. Havoc has an opportunity against you on Impact this week. And if she does defeat you, she's added to that match, making it a triple threat. Now, if it were to become a triple threat, how does that affect, or how does that dynamic affect you?
It's exciting. It means you have to watch your back and your front and your sides at all times. As a battle-seasoned warrior, that's something that the weekend rather anticipated about, but other people might find it a bit of a setback. The champion, perhaps, it certainly doesn't favor Deonna. She doesn't even have to get pinned to lose that championship. So that actually does offer an alternative means. If you can't get Deonna to quit or stay down for a measly 3 seconds, then perhaps the other one. But in the meantime, we have to beat Havoc first. Now, one of our favorite opponents to meet on the battlefield. And the last time we were a bit more friendly, if you could use that term when it comes to us, a bit more amicable, maybe, a bit more competitive, trying to establish that we're not trying to hurt her, that we're not trying to cheat any way out of her. This time, if she wants to take something that's ours, whether she's family or not, she's going to literally have to take it from our cold, dead hands. We are not giving up this opportunity without a fight.
Awesome. And this past year, we've seen a lot of developments in your career, being that you were supposed to be married on Impact, teaming with a former rival in Taya, Valkyrie, and now being back with Decay. How fun was it to show a different side of RoseMary?
Well, we honestly generally like to go through, let people try and, manipulate each other. You humans are so very manipulative with each other. And a lot of times people will trust us, even though we've said you do realize we're a demon. Yes, we hail from the undead realm, work for the shadow realm. We're not human. We're not exactly trustworthy. We will probably try to kill you, and they still try to trust us. It's really not our fault when things go awry for these humans. We've never lied. We did twist the truth a little bit regarding the wedding. And yes, of course, we were going to go through with it with Bravo, and we didn't want him to die at the actual wedding. We were going to harvest his virginal blood on his wedding night, so he did have a few more hours. Here we are.
Of course. And speaking of Decay, it's one of the most renowned groups in Impact's history. And seeing its comeback was really something that the fans wanted for a long time. Now, in your opinion, how does today's Decay differ from the original Decay?
As did we, darling. Decay is very near and dear to our black heart for reasons. Crazy Steve, in particular, is our little dark brother, and it's all about family. And you're always at your best when you have your family at your back, whether it's the ones you respond with or the ones that you found along the way. This Decay is obviously different because we are lacking our beautiful monster Abyss. Now, he always comes with us. He will always be in our heart. And just because he's not on the front lines with the rest of the Death Dealers right now does not mean that he's not part of Decay. He always will be. But since he was unavailable, the Shadows sent up another Death Dealer in the Minotaur, Black Taurus. And it was a nice little revamping of the group while the monster posed this historical advantage over everyone. Everyone knew who he was and what he was about and how crazy and bloodthirsty he would get, with Monsters Ball being his signature match. With Black Taurus, it was almost a complete opposite effect. Not a lot of people knew who he was unless you were familiar with AAA in Mexico and the work he had done there. So it was an anomaly bringing him in, people not knowing exactly how to handle this creature in front of them. And it's just positively exciting.
And that's, I think, the best word for it is exciting, because one, having Decay back, but two, having a new, I guess you can say, a new image, sort of say, for it being very, very exciting. But the Knockouts division is one of the best groups of women across the board in professional wrestling today. Now, is there anyone currently that you're interested in working with most on the roster?
Agreed. Well, they all are humans. We just want to establish that so that, they can only get so good. But we haven't worked with in particular, been able to mold or go to battle with. Does it matter really as an ally or an enemy? No? Interesting. All right. Now, we preach about no more humans, which is the safe side, really. We don't trust them whatsoever as far as we can throw them. However, there is that little one, the little Alicia Edwards. She has this intriguing aura about her where she will absolutely tell the truth no matter what happens. She confronted us at Wrestle House and told us what we were doing was immoral, which was hilarious. But still, we respected the fact that she got up in our face about that. And there is something to be said. Most humans would rather meddle and backstab and talk about you behind your back. She got in our face, and we respect that. And who we would like to fight? Oh, well, Alicia Edwards, why not? Let's bring that spunk to the battlefield, child.
Awesome. And on the outside of that, I mean, there is a plethora of amazingly talented human women on the free agents list right now, like Chelsea Green, Ruby Riott, the IIconics, even Mickie James. Bringing in some of that talent, if not all of them, would really deepen the depth of the women or the Knockouts division. Is there any interest to work with any one of those women in particular?
All of them. We've always said the door is wide open. Anyone who wants to face the Demon Assassin in battle is all too welcome. We never turn down a challenge. And all of those women, the IIconics in particular, tingles in the back of our mind with the newly reformed Knockouts Tag Team Championship, bringing in a seasoned tag team and one that is quite clever and also unexpectedly successful. If you were to take them as the cover of a book, you would think, oh, these easy pickings. No. These two are seasoned for a reason and are former tag team champions in another realm. So their addition to the Knockouts roster would be very intriguing indeed. But we do have to point out that you called her Chelsea Green. We know her as the Mad Bride Laurel Van Ness.
Very true.
And we do have unfinished business with her. So to have her return to the Impact realm would be something sweet indeed.
I think that would be definitely, being that there is history there. But being a seasoned veteran like yourself, I'm sure you're always looking for that next extension of Decay. Is there anyone that you have your eye on to potentially join you in Decay?
We're doing our best to sweet talk dear Havoc. She hails from the undead wasteland. Don't let her convince you that she is a human. She's not. She's just been hanging out with them for so long that she's forgotten where she comes from. Havoc, we implore you, no more humans. Come home to your family and join Decay. We have cookies.
Hey, that's a great way to get it. Awesome. And speaking of the women's wrestling in general, the NWA has announced that Mickie James will be the executive producer of an all-women's pay-per-view in the upcoming months.
Interesting.
What are your thoughts on having an all-women's pay-per-view? And if you were permitted, would that be something that you're interested in being a part of?
Well, Impact did used to run all women's pay-per-views back when they were still hailed as TNA. They would do the Knockouts Knockdown pay-per-views every year. So we don't see any reason why those couldn't come back, especially with the ever expanding Knockouts division and certainly a lot of free agents that you could bring in. That's what they did. Was the structure to bring in free agents against contracted talent and have them battle it out. That would absolutely be something we would be willing to be a part of. Again, we did get to partake in 2 of them before they stopped filming them. So yes, absolutely. The more the merrier. The more opportunities for the knockouts, the better for all of us.
Exactly. I think now having such a great spotlight on women's wrestling, I think that'd be an excellent idea. And like you said, big opportunities across the board for all women in wrestling.
Yes, especially with fans coming back now.
Exactly. And I'm going to touch on fans in just a little while. But while Impact has a working relationship with AEW, All Elite Wrestling, there is something that's missing within this crossover. And that is kind of what we're talking about here. And that's the women's division, Knockouts division. If you do become, once again, the Knockouts champion against all odds, is there any chance that we can see you either show up on Dynamite, or would you welcome anybody from AEW to your home turf?
We were recently asked this, and yes, it does seem to be sort of a comparing of sizes and girth thus far, doesn't it? Not really allowing the females to play. But we were asked about going over there, and as a seasoned battle veteran, as a strategist, and as a general in war, it is not advisable to just charge headlong into enemy territory and expect things to go well for you. Therefore, strategy, we would invite any of them to come to our turf, to come to our world, charge up the hill if you want to face the demon assassin. We are royalty after all. We should be standing on top.
And looking across the field at AEW's women's division, there are some women superstars who you do have some history with, one being Britt Baker and the other really being the Bunny. What would it mean to be able to work with either of them again?
Yes, we had a long time rivalry with Britt Baker while she was still tagged with Chelsea Green. Actually, it's all coming full circle. When Rise was running in full, we had several battles with Britt Baker, and she was always somebody that pushed us and tested us. And now it's been several years since we faced each other, and she's only gotten better, and we've gotten stronger. And it would definitely be a clash of the ages. Something that we would love to test ourselves with, because as you grow, it's new. She's not the same person that we faced before. So it would be intriguing to be able to see what she's become. And the Bunny, yes, that, and we cannot make this clear enough, that is not our Bunny. Our Bunny is dead. We watched her die in our arms, stabbed through the throat by Su Yung in the Undead Realm. That Bunny is dead. This is a doppelganger, an alternate from a different timeline or a parallel dimension, or perhaps even a tulpa created to antagonize us that we hadn't thought of before. But we don't trust her. We don't know her. And if we face her, we would be the most cautious we have ever been in our entire existence.
Sounds like you're very ready for this. And I think the fans would be ready to see it as well. Now, this weekend at Against All Odds, it's not only a big opportunity for you, but it's also a huge opportunity for all of Decay. You being in the Knockouts Championship and the rest of Decay being in the tag team title match. What would it mean to leave Against All Odds with Decay holding basically all the gold in Impact Wrestling?
A lucrative evening indeed. The possibilities are endless. If the boys could win the tag team championships from Violent by Design, and if we could relieve that Knockouts championship from Deonna Purrazzo, and all of a sudden, all eyes on Decay, and really all things do come to Decay, then how could anyone possibly deny our power, our influence? And perhaps that might be a way to lure Jessica and anyone else who wanted to expand the armies of Decay. Look, we're more than just words. We are actions as well. We are championships, and here is where the opportunity awaits. Come to us. A bargaining chip.
Yeah. And you've been with Impact for the long haul, really being there for a majority of your career. And to see the growth, I can imagine has been something special. What do you see as the biggest piece of progression since you've arrived in Impact?
Something that we wanted to become a part of when we dug our heels in and made our home base in Impact in this human realm. It was for a reason, and that's because the competition, while it did keep cycling out, it kept coming in as well. Impact is somewhere, especially for females, that the Knockouts division was a breath of fresh air when it was first formed in 2005, 6. Somewhere around there, and a lot of women realized that this was an opportunity to show themselves that knockouts could come in all shapes and sizes, and a lot of them gravitate towards, and that is why we chose Impact to be our base of operations, because the competition just keeps coming. We've been there since 2016. The only active competitor there longer than us is Eddie Edwards. Wow. And we don't expect to surpass that anytime soon, because the Wolf certainly has the same attitude that we do. We want to see Impact grow. We want to see this growth, and it has. And to be able to have survived throughout this pandemic, doing what they had to continue to put out shows and creative shows and creative content and outside of the box thinking, for example, Wrestle House being a perfect layout for how to produce shows in an era where we cannot have live fans, where the Hivelings can't be present. That might not have been necessarily the case when we first arrived in Impact. They might not have had the ingenuity or the creativity to come up with a non in-ring based product. So the growth there and the trust and the willingness to create and challenge themselves and really think out of the box. That's something that we've watched the growth of Impact thus far, and it's very exciting to go forward. We would love to go back to the Undead realm.
And you, like we've been talking about your time in Impact, you've been a part of a lot of big storylines, a lot of big moments. Is there one moment in your time with Impact that is most memorable to you?
Yes, absolutely. And it goes by the name of Delete or Decay. Charging through the forest to overcome an entire family of antagonists and steal their prodigal child. You don't easily forget that.
Of course. And one of the biggest questions that I guess we can ask here, and it's one of the biggest topics in pro wrestling right now, the pandemic is sort of coming to, I guess, some sort of end here. And fans are coming back to live shows. How excited are you to see fans back in attendance at Slammiversary?
It seems to be just as excited as the fans are themselves. The limited tickets that were released were sold out in 20 minutes. The Hivelings demand in-person experience once more. So, and trust us, we're all very excited going to this. And Slammiversary, it being a pay-per-view, and really arguably, some people say Bound for Glory, but we think Slammiversary might be the biggest show in Impact. It just tends to have that much more of a kick to it, perhaps kicking off your summer. And to have fans coming back for that pay-per-view in particular, it's really going to be something special. And you're going to see the energy of the locker room and the energy of everyone, and especially the energy of the Demon Assassin. While we always carried the Hivelings with us, to have them there present and be able to feed off their energy in person, that's exciting.
I was excited for Slammiversary before, but from what you just described, I mean, I'm even more excited now. And for all the fans listening and watching, heading into Against All Odds in your big title match, what is something that we can expect to see from RoseMary in that match?
We've put out the challenge to Deonna, so hopefully she listens. Now, if it does end up being one-on-one, if we can take care of Havoc this Thursday, we put out the challenge to Deonna. The last time we faced at Final Resolution, there was a little bit of assistance that she had from Miss Kimberly on the outside after a red wedding would have put her away. We can't falter for that. We have been known to bend the rules ourselves, and we're certainly not going to pretend that we haven't. However, there is nothing more pure than meeting one-on-one, hand-to-hand, like warriors on the battlefield. Deonna, leave Kimberly, leave Susan in the back. We'll let the boys take care of their own business, and let's the Virtuosa and the Demon Assassin go head-to-head and see who comes out on top.
I'm excited to see it, and I know all the fans are too. For all the fans listening and watching and who want to hear more or even just get more information on RoseMary, where could they find you across social media?
Yes, we're always looking out for new ways to spread the word of the shadow, and all of you seem to be very obsessed with social media. So we've made our center Twitter. You can find us there at We Are RoseMary, and find all the dark secrets that we like to spew forth from there. And if you wish to acquire any dark relics, do feel free to visit demonxbunny.com.
RoseMary, it's been a pleasure speaking with you, to have more insight into what's to come and really your career in general. It's been an honor to talk to you, and I'm just glad to have this opportunity.
A pleasure, darling.
And good luck at Against All Odds this upcoming Saturday.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
And before you go, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe down below to stay up to date with the next big interview right here on the Angle Podcast.